Well, here we are. Bitcoin is getting a bit crazy. I'm doing my best to catch each of these 1K moves. Well, here we are. I mean, I'm just none of the exciting price movement happens when I'm on live stream. It always happens, and then I come on live, and then it stops. So we're just, yeah. I mean, I don't really have much to say. I just kind of want to do a live stream, maybe watch the price, talk about Bitcoin. How often does Bitcoin break past 20K and then go to 21K? Right? It's never happened before. So it's certainly a time to watch the markets here. So, you guys are warned. You know what happens when I typically do a live stream, right? It tends to not be so good for the price in the short term. But it's like when I go off stream, you guys, I guess, just start buying up all the Bitcoin. So then I come back on stream to distract you for a little bit. So here we are. We're at 21.3. Yeah, I announced on the Telegram channel that I was doing a live stream, and like right after it dumped $100, and I was like, I didn't start the live stream yet, so I'm not gonna. I don't get to take credit for the move from 21.4 to 21.3, but we'll see what happens here. So this is the 1 hour chart. I guess we can go to a smaller time frame chart. Just see what's going on here. So actually, one chart that might be worthwhile to pull up will be let's go back to the weekly chart really quick. So actually, yeah, I guess I can do it here. I think this will show up. Yeah. So here we are, and a lot of people have said before, well, are we, how extended are we? I got a recent question on if Bitcoin were to go to a similar type bubble area that it did in 2019. I've often said that the move right now, even though it's a higher price, it still is not as major as this move was. And in fact, if you look at this chart here is it's the natural log of the price divided by the 20-week moving average. So if you think about it, anything below this point, anything below the yellow line is a so anything below the yellow line would be indicate that the price is below the 20-week moving average, because the natural log of 1, so the price divided by the 20-week, would be 0. So anything below 0 means it's below the 20-week SMA. So anything above it means we're above it, above the 20-week SMA. But the interesting thing, right, is if you look at this level here, so this was the bubble back in 2019, this bubble, and it took us to around 0.63 or 0.61, yeah, around 0.61, 0.62. So no, I'm not dividing by the log of the moving average. It's just I'm just saying. Oh my gosh, you guys are going crazy with Omer coin. So if let me solve for this really quick. So we're going to say the log of the price divided by the 20-week. So the 20-week is what, like 13.7 equals 0.62. So if we were to solve that equation, okay, let me just show you guys what I'm doing here. So forgive me if you don't really like the math, but all we're doing is we're saying, okay, well, what would the price of Bitcoin need to get to for us to get to the same extension that we saw in 2019? Because 2019, the log of the price divided by the moving the 20-week SMA reached around 0.62 or so. So if the 20-week SMA is 13.7 and we're solving for X, right? So the natural log of what divided by the 20-week moving average, 13.7, would give you 0.62, and it turns out it would be 25,467. Now, that would probably be an underestimate if we were to get to that same level, because we know that by the time we were to theoretically get to 25K, the 20-week moving average would be higher than it is now. So let's go back and say, well, what would it be? Let's say 14K. Let's say the 20-week moving average is 14K, and then we're solving for X. Then that would put us at around 26,000. So, if you're curious where Bitcoin would need to be in terms of getting to the same level of overextension from the 20-week moving average, to get to the same level here, it would need to get to around $26,000, and then if it gets to around $26,000, we might say, okay, we're essentially as overextended as we were back in 2019 at the peak, and that's why I say that the 2019 peak was fairly substantial because of how overextended we got and how quickly it happened. So all we're doing is we're taking the natural log of a futuristic price X dividing by the futuristic 20-week moving average, setting it equal to 0.62, which is where it would be to get back to that same level, solving for X, and we're finding, it would correspond to around $26,000, give or take. Of course, if it's a slower move and we don't go there next week or something, right? Imagine we go to someone says they're in their university lecture. Hey, this is more interesting, I think, right? I mean, we're talking about math here. And this is everyone always asks in school, like, when am I ever going to need this stuff? Hey, this is a good point. This is exactly when you need it. So listen up. Now, if the 20-week SMA were to continue going up and we were to continue to go to that level, let's say Bitcoin continues rallying for a few weeks, and let's say by that time the 20-week SMA is at 16K. If you saw for X in this situation and it goes to a valuation of 0.62, then it would put Bitcoin at $29,000 to reach the same overextension that it did in 2019. So remember, the 20-week SMA it's a moving target, right? So, some people say, are we waiting for 13K? Are we waiting for 14K? Are we waiting for 15K? We're waiting, first of all, the point is we don't know when it will dip, but whenever it does, that's the level we want to hold. And right now we're so far above it, we have plenty of time to consider those implications. But right now we're nowhere even close to this bull market support band, right? So here's the bull market support band, and the 21-week EMA is at like 14.5. 21-week SMA you can see is at like 13. I guess it's at 13.8, not 13.7. So if we were to go to say the same overextension as 2019 tomorrow, then it would put us at 25,653. But again, I mean, things can take time. And also, of course, you guys, we've looked at this macro trend line. So we're gonna pull up this other trend line really quick. Right, the macro trend line from the top. Four nice peaks, right? And so this is something else I want to look at. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, the first thing to note is that this will not hold forever, right? Because eventually, I think we looked at it in one of the streams, right? Eventually, once you get out to like 2029, it will go below 0, which doesn't make sense because that implies the price goes below, just stays below the 20-week moving average, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense unless Bitcoin just goes to 0. And you can also see that it more or less has, it bottoms around this level, right, or around that level or so. But one of the things is, okay, well, how high could the bubble theoretically go and get us back to this macroscopic downtrend, right? We've talked a lot about this market cycle, and we've had a couple videos on this one. But what if in fact we have a double top cycle? What if we have a triple top, right? What if we have triple top where we have three smaller peaks along the way? I mean, this one was just one major peak. This one was 2 peaks, and then this one was just like a more, one long move up. What if we have another double peak? We already had one smaller peak at 14K. So the question is, well, if we were to come up to this trend line this December, so sometime in the next 2 weeks or so, what would the price be to get us there, right? So what would the price be to get us to that point? So all we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we say, oh, well, if we were to go there next week, it would correspond to a valuation of 0.75. And remember, this is the same thing we just looked at. It's the log of the price divided by the 20-week SMA would give you 0.75. So let's go solve for that. So instead of solving for 0.62, if we solve for 0.75, and we say the log of a price divided by the 20-week SMA, and let's say the 20-week SMA is going to be 14.1, right, in a week or so, and we solve for that, let's see what we get, right? So that would also put the price at around 30K. So if Bitcoin were to go to 30K in the short term, okay, so if it were to go there in the short term, then we would hit this peak. We would hit this macro downtrend line up here if it were to go to 30K in the short term. Now, again, we know that eventually, at some point, it will just start, it will break above it, right? Because it doesn't make sense for it to always just be below it, especially because it's a downtrend. But in order for us to get back up to that macroscopic theoretical peak, like we have here, 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 and here, then it would take us to, around a valuation of 0.775, 0.76, 0.77, somewhere in that ballpark. If we made this 0.77 and we're a little bit more liberal with it, then it would put the price at 30,452. And then that would still, the macroscopic downtrend would still hold in that situation, right? It would still hold. So that's the main point, right? That's the main point that I want to talk about. The other thing I think might be useful to pull up will be, we're going to remove the rainbow, put this one back on. Sorry, not that one. We're going to put on the regression bands. We're going to delete the drawings. We're going to go to the indicators. And we're going to look for the log. Let me see if I can find it. Thought I put it in here. Oh, I think this is it. Right. So here's another situation where we see a similar type downtrend, right? Over of course, the macro scale. Sorry, I'll get to questions in a minute. I just want to talk about this for a minute. Let's just check on Bitcoin. Yeah. You see, the nice thing is, right, is when you see me come on stream, you can be more or less assured that the price of Bitcoin is going to cool off, right? So I'm doing everyone a favor, right? Like let it cool off for a little bit. Let's gather ourselves, figure out what the hell we're doing, and then when I go off live stream, you guys can, I guess you guys are going and buying up all the Bitcoin, because it seems like every time I go off stream, that's when the price moves. So in the same manner, right? So this regression line here is just the it's essentially fit to quote unquote non-bubble data. But if you take the price and divide it by that regression line, you also see a similar downtrend. It doesn't show up on the weekly time frame because it's like weekly candles, but you can really easily see it on the daily time frame. So starting here, extending over, and then continuing on down, more or less, right? And we'll just go up to the top right here. So we have one peak here. This one was around a valuation of 3. This one was around 2.78, 2.8. The next one was at a valuation of 2. Okay. And then now, this is where we are. So if we extend this through, we're nowhere close to it, right? We're not even close to this point right now. So in terms of, so there's two things we're looking at, right? The first thing is looking at the log of the close divided by the 20-week. And this one shows, right? This one shows that, well, we are getting fairly overextended in the short term, right? But that we would need to actually go to like 30K before we would be as extended as we were in 2019. So that's what that one shows. This one shows that even if we were to go to, even if we were to go to that level, we wouldn't even be close to this macroscopic peak. And the way we have to figure this out is we need to first look to see, okay, well, what's the fair value? So the fair value right now is 10,863. So if we go back over here and replace this with 10,863, and we come back to the price of Bitcoin and say, okay, well, where would the peak be? Well, it would need to get to a valuation identically. If it were to go to the peak tomorrow, it would need to get to a valuation of 1.52. So instead of putting in 0.77, if we put in 1.52, solve for the price of Bitcoin to reach that theoretical peak, it would put us at around 50K, okay? So what that means is if Bitcoin were to go to 50K in the short term, right? In the short term, meaning like this month or next month, if it went to 50K in the short term, then it would put it back up at that level, okay? And it would need to get to 50K to get there. So this is why, there's two types of videos we make, right? We talk about the 20-week SMA and how extended we are over that. But at the end of the day, I'm always, at least for the the next few years, most likely, I'm still macro bullish on Bitcoin, because even if we do sometimes get extended, we're still way far away from the macroscopic trend line, right? The macroscopic trend line that more or less governs the theoretical peaks each market cycle. We're not even close to being at that level. And you can see what's crazy about it is we're basically still all the way down here, which is where we were before we had this major drop. And you might wonder, you're like, well, how the hell does that make sense? Like, why would this make sense? It's simply because the fair value changes, right? The fair value of Bitcoin is not a constant. And back over here, back when the price of Bitcoin was around this level, it was around 6K or so. But we know the fair value at the time was around 3K, right? So if the fair value was 3K and the price of Bitcoin was 6K, then it essentially puts us at the same level here, because now the fair value of Bitcoin is almost 11K, right? You can see it here, it's 10,863. So then twice that would put us close to 22K. That's why, despite the fact that we are a lot lower price now, or we are a lot lower price here than where we are here, we're still basically at the same level of overvaluation. And it's because the price of Bitcoin, the regression fit, is a monotonically increasing function, right? It just continues to go up. So I hope that makes sense to at least a few of you out there. If it doesn't make sense, maybe I can try to explain it again, but hopefully it makes sense to some of you guys. Let's check the comments. Yeah, let's just go quickly through. So Ether is at 633, not really that important because the Bitcoin valuation is still fairly low. I was actually looking at this. If you look at the Ether Bitcoin valuation, there tends to be like a week with a wick all the way down before it turns around, right? You can see there's a huge wick here. This one came at 0.0174. We came down, we had a candle, a huge wick down, right? A huge wick down, and then we just ricocheted back up. Again here, a candle with a huge wick down, and then we ricocheted back up. So the point is, we're still fairly early in the week. What is it, Wednesday? So we're gonna get another weekly close in like 4 days. So just be on the lookout for that, right? I mean, if it starts coming down even further, note that it could quickly turn around, and maybe we'll see another bounce like that. But again, we know that the turnaround point historically is sometime between now and mid-January, if history were to repeat. So if history were to repeat, it'd be sometime between now and mid-January. So I'm just checking some of the comments. Do you think Ethereum will have a breakout? Yeah, I think there's a good chance it will. Yeah, I think there's a good chance altcoin season could ensue as long as Bitcoin doesn't just like absolutely dump. Okay, you're asking the same questions, Mad say, so please stop saying the same thing. I already answered you. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you like the content and give the video a thumbs up. Let's try to get to 72,000 subscribers. I think we're at we're at 70,950. I guess we should get to 71 before we go for 72. So obviously, as always, keep an eye on XRP, Ethereum, ADA, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Monero. These are the ones we're following right now. Let's see what XRP is starting to move a little, but again, not too crazy. XRP Bitcoin has still not made a major move since this first move. We kind of saw a similar thing back in 2017, move up, back to the bull market support, and then up again. We'll see if history repeats. Looks like the live stream is at least suppressing the price in the short term. We're going to get rid of this, and we'll go over to, say, a 5-minute time scale. Audit this out, see what's going on. Yeah, I mean, Link's doing okay. I mean, it's nothing to write home about, right? I mean, I don't think anyone at this point is that impressed with a 13.4 Link, even though I did buy some back at around $7 and $8, and then most recently at around 11.44. It still hasn't been doing a whole lot because, as you can see, it's still fairly devalued against Bitcoin. So nothing to write home about yet with Link. Hopefully that'll change soon, but so far, that's what we have to work with. ADA is actually doing pretty well. It's, getting close to 17 cents. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea how much higher the price will go in the short term, right? I mean, we've always contended these short-term bubbles can exist. Again, to get as extended as we were back in 2019, it would mean going to maybe like 26K. To get to the top of the macroscopic trend line peak, if we went there tomorrow, it would correspond to 50K. So again, I think it's hard to say exactly what the extent of the bubble, at least in the short term. But yeah, I mean, we'll definitely follow it and see how high we can go. Yeah, I am still accumulating Polkadot. My initial plan, my main plan for DOT is just to accumulate it weekly throughout 2020. Where do I advise to study for programming indicators? I mean, you can reference the TradingView PineScript manual. That's what I did. Oh, I did buy XRP, as I said earlier. I did buy some. I mean, it comes with a risk, of course, of Bitcoin having a quick turnaround. But, after sitting out of XRP and sitting out of Litecoin for the last 3 years, I mean, you see the risks that come with it, right? I mean, getting out of it, I mean, from the top, XRP is what, down 89% or so? Uh, and from if you just go to, say, the candle here, it's still down like 85%. So I think these, things with like XRP and Litecoin, I think it's like 99% of the time it doesn't really merit holding. But, there comes times where I think it can be worth the risk. So I guess the point, kind of the implication is like, well, we don't know if 20K is going to hold, but if it does, then I imagine XRP could do quite well in the short term. And if it doesn't, then again, it was just a calculated risk, and then we'll just more or less have to wait until Bitcoin does get to above 20K and XRP starts moving again. So the point is, right, is to not know exactly when things will happen, but just to make educated guesses. And the whole point was to show, during this time period was not a smart time to be purchasing XRP. But now that we're all the way down here, Bitcoin's above the prior all-time high, it might make sense, right? It's not about the return, it's about the risk-adjusted return, and I think we're getting to it. I think we're at a point where it can somewhat make sense. ADA, still very bullish on ADA. Still very bullish on Link, but, it still hasn't really done anything against Bitcoin recently. And so we'll see when there's a turnaround point, because it's still at $13. So, and Bitcoin's at 21.3. Ether's now at 634. We're almost pushing 635. The bottom of this trend line, if anyone cares, is 0.029. If we have a wick, maybe down to here, it'd be 0.028. If we go back down to where we were a few weeks ago, it would be 0.0263. I need more music. Sorry, this is not an entertainment channel. Though I must say, are you not entertained sometimes? But it's not the purpose of it. Yeah, I mean, if we see a sustainable 20K in Q1 of 2021, then you know, I mean, I guess it's possible we go to 100K in 2021. I still doubt it, but I mean, if it does, we'll be there for it, right? We'll be ready to take advantage of the situation if the writing's on the wall. But we'll see. I mean, we still have a few months. I mean, we're not even in Q1 yet, right? We're not even in Q1 yet, and we're already over 20K. So we'll see if it can hold or not. I mean, the bull market support is what it is, like 14K, around 14K or so, and it's not going to cross 20K itself for months, right? It won't cross 20K itself for months. No, I'm not really using Fibonacci in the TA. I mean, if you're interested in the Fibonacci stuff, there's plenty of other channels that cover it. When I created this channel, I didn't want to cover the same type of stuff that other people covered. Trying to provide something new. Will we hit the CME gap at 9,500? Yeah, I've said all along, I think the gap boys are mistaken in the idea that gaps have to fill, especially in bull markets. So in terms of 100K or 50K, I mean, yeah, if you just look at this macro trend line, when we solve this equation, it would yield a 50K. So Bitcoin could go to 50K in the next, it could go to 50K in the next year theoretically and still respect the macro trend line. If it goes to 100K in 3 months, then we're going to be way above this, and we're no longer on that same trend line anymore. Someone said, any thoughts on VeChain? Yeah, we talk about it some. I'll pull it up. So generally, I think VeChain will do well this market cycle. And we just sort of mentioned, like, you know, and we've had some videos on it in the past, like, you know, maybe a general reaccumulation phase down here and a general selling zone up here. Something like that, maybe. I don't know. So right now the VeChain Ether valuation is 2709. To get back up here, it would be at like 7105. So you're looking at about a 3x move against Ether if it were to go back to the top. Ether's at 635. Someone said, when will Link stop bleeding against Bitcoin? Well, unfortunately, as long as Bitcoin keeps doing this, it will probably keep bleeding. Right? I mean, it just, that's the way it is. So until Bitcoin stops, you know, just going insane, I really don't anticipate any major move of Link against Bitcoin. Once that happens, then yeah, like I think it'll move. But until that happens, then I don't think there's going to be a huge move yet. Yeah, we can have a couple, you know, I mean, it's possible that that now is the turnaround point. It's possible. But again, you know, with Bitcoin going from like 19K to 20K to 21K in a day, it does not lend itself to letting other coins make any moves against Bitcoin. Not for the most part. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let's get to 71,000 subscribers if you guys like the content. We're almost there. We need 15 more people to subscribe and we'll be at 71. Also, give the video a thumbs up if you guys like the content. I do want you guys to try to stay level-headed because, you know, there's no guarantee yet that altcoins are going to pump against Bitcoin, but in the event that they do, things can get crazy really quickly. And I've seen this happen many times, right? You know, you start seeing good returns, you maybe you take profits, but then you just keep putting them into other coins. You know, be careful, right? Be careful. Don't continue to chase the pumps, right? Have your positions ready now, right? Have them ready. Get your position how you want it, and then wait for the pumps to come to you, because really none of the major altcoins are that overextended at this point, right? I mean, ADA is still relatively low. It's at 16 cents, almost 17 cents. XRP is still at 53 cents, which is still like 1/6 of what it reached at the prior all-time high. Ether is not even half of its prior all-time high. You know, Litecoin is not even close either. So if the altcoin surge does happen, then remember to take profits, right? Remember to take profits, and you can wait as high as you want, but just you know, the more that you wait, the more you risk watching it go away. Again, I'm not saying now would be the right time. I mean, I don't want to take profits on any altcoins right now because of the current market conditions. But if in fact we do see a surge and then we see all these altcoin bubbles forming, like we have in the past, right? Many times in the past, then just remember that as far as I'm concerned, there's no new normal. It's just more of the same. And we've had altcoin bubbles before. We'll have altcoin bubbles in the future. And if one forms, stay level-headed. And they can last a few weeks, right? I mean, it's not like if you see one form, it just lasts like a day and that's it. A lot of times these altcoin bubbles can last like, you know, 2 or 3 weeks. In fact, if you go look at Bitcoin, if we go look at what Bitcoin did, So it peaked, by the way, it peaked last cycle December 17th. Okay? And it's about to be December 17th in 1 hour according to UTC time. I'm not saying it has to dump there. I just want people to be aware, right? So the week sorry, I'm not looking at the right one. This is the one before it. The week of December, the day of December 16th was a major move up. And then December 17th, we had the peak at around 19.8K. And then it came down, so around this level. But remember, even though Bitcoin came back down, altcoins were pumping, right? Altcoins were pumping like crazy up here. So it's just something to consider, right? Altcoins are pumping like crazy. And if you go look at what Ethereum was doing, so when did Ethereum make its final move? So if you look here, Ethereum had a major move from, I mean, look to see where we were here. This is, it's actually quite impressive how similar it is, okay? Like, digest this for a moment. Digest this for a moment. On December 12th, Ether was 684. On December 12th, Ether was 684. And Bitcoin on December 12th was 16K, around 16K. And then Ethereum did not do much of anything for a few weeks, right? For a couple weeks. I mean, it had a little nice move to 880, but this was not the final one. And then it started going sideways from December 23rd to December 31st. So the last week of the year of December, Ethereum went sideways. And what was Bitcoin doing from December 23rd? Right? So Bitcoin from December 23rd, right here, till December 31st, right here, it was going sideways as well. And then Bitcoin had its little dead cat bounce back up to 17K. And then after this, and leading into this, so the dead cat bounce peaked on January 7th, and then it started going down. But if you look at Ethereum pumped all the way until January 13th. So it lasted a week after the dead cat bounce. And the major pump started on January 2nd. And once January 2nd started, it basically went up 2x. Because on January 2nd, it was around $750. And it ultimately went to around a little over $1,400. Right? So it went up about 2x starting January 2nd. And on January 2nd, Bitcoin was right here, right? So Bitcoin was right here during the dead cat bounce. So just something to keep in mind. Ethereum can move quickly once it starts moving because it moved up 2x in about a week and a half or 2 weeks. So if we do get an altcoin bubble, right? If we do see an altcoin surge, recognize it might only last a few weeks before we come back down to earth for a little while. Okay, so they don't typically last for like forever. They don't typically last like 3 years or anything like that. And even earlier in the cycle, right? Even earlier in the cycle when Bitcoin was here. So this was when Bitcoin got to the prior all-time high in March, April of 2017. Ethereum started pumping, right? And it might not look much now when you're looking at it on a logarithmic chart, but this was a pretty significant dump back down. It was a 24% dump back down in April. So, and then we had more dumps along the way. This was another 23% dump. From this top down to the bottom, it was another 47% dump. And then this one took us all the way down to the bottom at a 70% dump. So Bitcoin still at around 21. It's almost back to 21.4. So remember to subscribe if you guys like the content and give the video a thumbs up. I'm happy to see we have over 2,000 viewers again. Let's just take a quick look at links. The link's at 1342. I'm pretty bullish on this one if Bitcoin can hold these levels. Pretty bullish on ADA as well. Litecoin has bled significantly against Bitcoin. This is probably one that could pump like crazy as well if Bitcoin can hold these levels. The last one was 616% back in the first quarter of 2017. XRP had a major move back in the first quarter of 2017 as well. That was like 5,000% against Bitcoin. Again, we expect diminishing returns, of course, but and I mean, again, until Bitcoin cools off, most everything is going to bleed. It's just simply the way it is. Most everything will bleed against Bitcoin until it cools off. Someone says, "What if we pump to 21K?" I mean, that would essentially just put us back to where we were earlier, back in 2019 again. Remember? So if we hide that one and then put back on the other one, so yeah, I mean, for us to get to this peak here, it would put Bitcoin at what, like a 26K, 27K, depending on how long it takes us to get there. Yeah, I mean, we already talked about the fact that it dumped on the 17th of December last market cycle. By the way, the 17th of December is starting in about 48 minutes. Not that I think that's a reason to sell, of course, but I'm just letting people know. We're back above 21.4. How do I calculate at what time I sell coins like XRP? I would just stick to the risk level. Well, so that's part of the premium list. Again, if you guys want access to the premium list, you can find that in the description below. You get access to the risk levels, which is what I use to trade, the Telegram chat room, the Telegram alerts channel, the premium videos, the premium reports, and the trading view indicators. So you get access to all that stuff by subscribing. So check it out. And I will also remind you, we have a Telegram channel with over 10,000 people in it, so I'll post that in the chat as well if you guys want to join. And also, in addition to that Telegram channel, there's one other Telegram channel that some of you guys, some of the more adventurous people here might enjoy. It's called Into the Cryptocosm, so it's specifically geared for people who want to talk about microcaps. So if you want to talk about microcaps, go to the Telegram chat I just put in the comments. Sorry, I'm just going to check something. If that looks okay. Ether's getting hammered right now against Bitcoin still. Did my wife buy me this sweater? She might have, actually. I know you guys want the alts to pump, but they're not going to pump until Bitcoin volatility calms down for the most part. They're just not. So, that's what we have to wait for. Bitcoin going from 19 to 21K in a day is not volatility calming down, right? It's not volatility calming down. And again, the coins will pump with Bitcoin, right? They're just not they're not going to make any substantial moves on Bitcoin most likely until Bitcoin calms down. You can see, I mean, Ethereum's pumping, right? I mean, Ethereum's at 636, but the Ethereum Bitcoin valuation is at 0.0296. You can see it's been going down recently. So that's the point, right? It's not that they won't pump. I mean, 636 is great and all, but who gets out of bed for a 636 Ether when you're looking at a 21,000 Bitcoin? Someone says I'm kind of a pessimist. I would say I'm cautiously optimistic. Bitcoin's now at 21.5, getting some action here. Ether's at 639. Let's see what's going on. I mean, seems like the entire market's pushing up a little here. 21.5, 21.565. Ether maybe about to break 640. Yeah, I mean, it's honestly like I kind of want to see what Ether does here. I mean, the valuation is bleeding at 0.02961, so it's a 638 and Bitcoin's at 21.5. I mean, honestly, if Bitcoin holds these levels, I don't think it's a question of whether Ether will get to 700, right? I think it's a question of whether it will get to 1,000. That's if Bitcoin can maintain these levels and just maintain them. And I know I've been saying that for weeks and weeks and weeks, but yet Bitcoin volatility has just simply not calmed down yet. And until it does, we're probably not going to see something super significant like in a couple hours, right? We want to see Bitcoin volatility really calm down. Someone said an actual BJ Cowan pump video. Yeah, most of my videos are accompanied by dumps, not pumps. Back down to 21.3. Someone said put on the 1 minute chart. Here it is. Whew. I'm sure some people here would classify this as a dump. Oh. T-Dub says he market bought, so we should go back down. Is that our indicator? I love how like a minute and a half ago everyone was excited on the pump, and then like 30 seconds ago now it's a dump. Someone says, don't pull up the XRP chart, your kids will scream. Actually, none of my kids are here right now, so we're safe. We could safely look at an XRP chart without having to worry about them screaming. But, I mean, I think it's more interesting to look at Bitcoin and Ether right now. How often do I spin in front of the charts a day? I don't know. That's a good question. Probably more than I should. I mean, a lot of it is not just like looking at the charts; it's coming up with new tools to analyze them, right? Not just looking at them. Hold on, I'll be back in like 1 minute. Okay. Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm back. You guys are nothing much has changed, I guess. We're still at around 21.3. This is essentially where I started the stream out, was around 21.3. I snuck off to dump my bags on you guys. No, I mean, I've already told you guys that I wouldn't be buying Bitcoin at these levels. I don't care if it goes to 30K. I would not be buying Bitcoin here. So if you're buying Bitcoin here, you're just taking on a really big risk, right? This is certainly not a level I would buy Bitcoin at, right? There's a time to buy it, right, and there's a time to consider selling. And buying Bitcoin when it's extended this far just simply does not make sense to me, right? I mean, I said the same thing at 18K. So the same thing as 17K and 16K, and it doesn't mean I don't own a lot of Bitcoin. I do own a lot of Bitcoin, but I bought most of it at much lower levels. I'm not interested in chasing a pump. Can I draw any conclusions that the market cap when Bitcoin was at its peak in 2017 was 800 billion, but today it's only like 550? I mean, yeah, altcoins altcoins just haven't moved yet. But I mean, that can quickly change, right? I mean, that can change in the event of Bitcoin volatility decreasing. Hey, it looks like we hit 71,000 subscribers. Thanks. I mean, 71,000 subs is nice, but 72 could be better. Will I do 1 Bitcoin on 72,000 subs? What do you mean, will I do 1 Bitcoin? Why do you think Bitcoin Cash does not move when it's a top 5? I don't know. I don't really follow Bitcoin Cash. I'll let you guys follow that one. I don't own Tezos. Someone says, what's your thoughts on Tezos? I mean, it might do well this market cycle. I don't own any of it. Well, if I do own any of it, it would be like pennies of it. I don't think I have any Tezos. Why don't I follow Litecoin? We have talked about Litecoin in this stream. I feel like we're all watching this and just wanting it to turn around, right? Wanting Ethereum to start showing some strength soon. Yeah, I mean, I think there's some altcoins that you could justify buying, right? I mean, it depends on your risk tolerance, right? I mean, there's a lot of coins. I mean, for instance, like Link, I recently bought at 1144. That was on the premium list, of course, but I mean, I recently bought it as high as 1144, and then I also bought it over here at $8 and over here at $7. But I did pick up some Link recently. And I mean, like, yeah, like at 1334 is not 1144, but it's not. I mean, it is different, right? We're talking about like if you don't own any, right? If you don't own any of the coin, you can always just get into the market when you can. Link might be one. ADA could be one. For sure. I mean, Ether. I think Ether's a given. Yeah, I do own Polkadot. I do. I've been accumulating Polkadot. I mean, I've been an XRP hater for the last several years, I'll admit. But I said earlier on stream that I'm, now that Bitcoin's above 20K, I think it becomes worth the risk now. Now that it's above it, right? Now that it's above 20K, I think it becomes worth the risk. I mean, Bitcoin could dump back down, but I'm just saying I think it's worth the risk. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to pump in the next 90 days, but at least we avoided the 3-year downtrend of XRP against Bitcoin, right? Yeah, I do sometimes sell to dollars. All right, we've been going for an hour. Do you guys have any more questions? I mean, I think there are some questions, but it's honestly hard to follow them with how quickly they're coming through. My DC advisor weekly, not monthly. What was my day job? Computational material science. Yeah, I mean, people want to know about Ether. Again, we don't expect anything until Bitcoin volatility comes back down. That could mean, Bitcoin has a correction, and then maybe has a dead cat bounce, and somewhat stabilizes, and then maybe Ether will move. But if Bitcoin volatility is doing this, if it goes to like 22K, 23K, I would say we would expect Ether to continue going down against Bitcoin in the short term. But at some point, I do think it'll turn around, and then it'll get crazy, right? And then everyone will look back at it and say, "Wow, like they wish they bought Ether at 600." I mean, I do think there's a good chance that Ether will get to at least $700 or $800, but it's contingent on Bitcoin. I mean, honestly, I think it could go to 1,000, but it's contingent on what Bitcoin does here. Oh my gosh! Stop, Anthony! Stop saying XRP regression bands. If Bitcoin doesn't dump, when would you buy more? I mean, I probably wouldn't buy more in the short term. Um, I kind of want to keep an eye on Ether here, because it broke the prior local top, right? But right now it's sitting right at it. Sitting right at the, whoops, right here. So I think the previous videos about Bitcoin testing the 20-week moving average seems to hold. I mean, these videos are just based on data, right? I mean, looking historically, there's only been like 3 months in a row where it was above it. And the 4th month, at the very latest, I think it would have come back down to it. So that would imply that by February, at the latest, we would test it. February is a long time from now, right? That's a long time from now. A lot can happen between now and then. I don't know that it's going to test it this month, but January is another month. February is another month. And we'll see. I mean, sentiment can change quickly, remember, so don't forget about that. Someone, they said they wanted to watch the Ethereum minute chart. It's kind of crazy watching the 1 minute candles because I forget how short they are and how little how of little importance they are. Someone's asking about XLM. You know, we've covered XLM before. It's one of the better performers this year. Oh, I said 18 cents. So yeah, we'll probably do a video on it at some point. Make sure you guys subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Let's get to 1,000 likes if possible. That'd be 2 live streams in one day at 1,000 likes if we could make it. There's a lot of platforms to buy these coins, and you guys, I would say, just doing your own research. I don't want to shill any specific exchange. Someone says Link is moving against Bitcoin. I don't think so. I don't think Link's doing much of anything against Bitcoin. And you can't tell me that going up 10 cents is doing something. Yeah, I mean, I hope that Link Bitcoin bounces soon, but until we see a trend reversal, I mean, it's been pretty bad recently, right? There's no doubt about it. It's down like 60% against Bitcoin. 63%. All right, should we wrap it up soon? I think we did our job, right? I mean, the job of the live stream is to kill the rally. We came on at 21.3, and it's still at 21.3. So, mission accomplished, right? Mission accomplished. All right, bye, Jimmy. We can keep it going a little bit longer, I guess. I think I can go for maybe 20 more minutes. Maybe. All right, fine. I'll pull up some of the Coins you guys want. What are they? I don't know. You guys keep saying them. You guys are never ending shilling me these coins. Okay, so this one's up, what, 1,700% since March? Oh, that's not bad. I think I'll pull up the Ether valuation, though. It's funny how things look a lot different when you pull up, other valuations. I mean, this one is, I mean, it looks good recently. Against Ether though, it's down pretty significantly, right? I mean, if you just look at the macro trend here, it's down pretty significantly. And in fact, I mean, from the top, it's down against Ether around 80% or so. But I mean, it has had a good run recently. But I mean, you get the idea, right? These coins can pump like crazy. They can pump like mad. But then in a bear market, they just bleed like crazy against some of the more major coins. Yeah, we'll pull up Uni. Yeah, this one doesn't really have a whole lot of history yet. And, it launched, it went up, it came all the way down to around 175, back up. Maybe some accumulation territory here, but I don't think Uni is going to pump until altcoins in general pump, because it's the governance token for Uniswap, which would probably go crazy if altcoins pump. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, we did look at VeChain already, right? I mean, we were looking at the VeChain Ether valuation. Right, I mean, it appears to be fairly undervalued against Ether right now. So this is VeChain. Do I send out emails to the premium list when certain risk thresholds are reached? It's not an email, it's a Telegram. There's a Telegram alerts channel. So, yeah, it's on Telegram. We'll see what Ether's doing. Still at 636. You guys understand why altcoins can pump, though, right, in times like this, because people who are buying Bitcoin, they're up so much, right? A lot of people are up 4 or 5x, so they have a lot more money. And then they think, oh, I'll just throw a couple Bitcoin at this altcoin, a couple Bitcoin at that altcoin, and then, I mean, it's no wonder that altcoins can go crazy whenever Bitcoin volatility cools off. Yeah, I mean, I've back-tested stuff. I mean, I wouldn't, if I didn't backtest, I wouldn't know how it would perform. You guys are still shilling me on stuff. The problem with all these coins is just like, if you get spread too thinly, you can become somewhat apathetic towards what's going on. So this one's up from, what, 3 cents or so. Yeah, so it's up pretty significantly as well. Okay, we'll look at one more. Band. Everyone always talks about that one. Yeah, it's a pretty nice chart, right? similar to Link. I mean, it's in that same ballpark, right? I mean, a major pump up in the summer, up to around $20, then a dump down to around $3 or $4, and then back up to around $6. Right now, we're in the bull market support band for it. Curious though how it looks against Bitcoin. Yeah, pretty similar move, right? It looks pretty similar as what Link looks like. It's a major move up. If we hide the exponential fit, right? A major move up, and then crossing back down. Basically the same thing, right? Major move up and then crossing back down right here. I mean, it seems to be a slightly more, like if you take a measured move from here to the top, 5,400%, and then back down 80%. This was from, let's just say, early February, and then you go and look at Link. So if you go look at Link since early February. Way over here. It went up, what, 500%, and then back down 64%. So up 500, down 64, and then ban was up 5,000, down 80. So it seems to be a much more volatile version of Link to some degree. So like maybe it pumps more, but it also bleeds a lot more when things start going south. I mean, you can see that like it does, the charts do look pretty similar. In terms of qualitatively, they look similar. Remember, we do have a Telegram channel with over 10,000 people. If you guys want to go chat with other crypto people, you can find that in the comments or in the description below. All right, we don't do the 100x picks here. Yeah, get that out of here. They go up fine, but... He said 90x? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I mean, you guys know the coins I hold, right? It's not a secret. You guys know what I hold. Mainly Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT, and I said I'd be picking up some Litecoin and XRP with current market conditions. I mean, for the most part, that's it. I own a little bit of Monero, which I've done a few videos on, and I mean, maybe I'll pick up some VeChain, but for now, I mean, like 97% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, ADA, and DOT, and so I mean, I'll probably change that a little bit. To get some, a few other coins now that we're above the prior all-time high, but that's what it mostly is. Yeah, I'm buying DOT as long as it's below $6. If you're late to the game, what's your entry price? As I've said before, right, it's too risky not to hold Bitcoin. I still own a ton of Bitcoin, so I would always say, like, you could always get a position and then DCA. Let's see if Ether can break 640. There's a rumor going around that for Ether to break 640, we have to get to 1,000 likes. I don't know if it's true, but it's what I heard. Bitcoin's back to 21.4. Ether's at 639. Whew. Oh man, rejected at 639. We're getting close to the prior local top that we had over here at 639.56. And we're not there. We're not at 640 yet. We're not quite there. We're at 638.44. Is XRP moving? Oh yeah, here it goes, 57 cents. We'll see if it keeps going. I recently just picked up some at around like 53 cents, so probably, I mean, of course you could argue, you know, you could have bought it at like 20 something cents a few weeks ago, but I mean, Bitcoin pumped during that time as well, and so did Ether, so it's not the end of the world, but in terms of a macro view on the market, right, it to me did not make sense to buy it before Bitcoin got to the prior all-time high. And again, you can see there are some similarities, right, between we had a pump and then back down to the band, the bull market support band, right, and back in 2017. And we're just going to see if the same thing plays out, right? A pump and then back down to it, and then maybe we take off. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, I think Bitcoin needs to hold steady for that to happen, but we'll see if it happens. I bought XRP with USD, actually. I did not buy it with Bitcoin. I bought it with USD. The cutoff for accumulation phase of Cardano is I use 0.4 risk on my own stuff, which is on the premium list. But you could buy it to whatever value you want to. Yeah, see, Ether didn't make it to 640 because we didn't get to 1,000 likes. And now all the way back down to 636. Let's see if XRP is reacting during this time. So it's still at 56 cents. I'm assuming, yeah, it's coming back down below 21.4. It's back down to 21.370. Ether's at 637. At 640 mark. You know, I've looked at XRP before, and I honestly don't remember. It's been a long time since I looked at it seriously, and I remember back when I looked at it a couple years ago. I remember thinking like of a certain level it might go to, but I don't really want to say that. I think I'll just keep an eye on it and see see what it does here in the short term. But, you know, I mean, a 57 cent XRP. And again, I don't really care if you guys don't like XRP, right? I mean, get a ticket and get in line because, you know, if you want to complain to me about XRP, there's 1,000 other people that want to do the same. My philosophy is if it has a good chance to make me money here, I don't really care what ticker has me do it, whether it's XRP or something else. Who cares, right? Let's see where Ether is. 639. Whoo! Let's pump it to 1,000 likes and get above 640. Let's see if Bitcoin's back. It's still at 21.3, so we're seeing a little bit of life here out of Ethereum. It's coming back up a little. The Ether Bitcoin valuation is coming back up. Let's see what Link's doing. 1350, a little bit back up. ADA ETH, it's not doing so hot. VeChain, okay. Nice to see Ether coming back up a little bit against Bitcoin. Bitcoin's dropping too, so what that means is Bitcoin's dropping a little bit, but Ether's not following suit as much, right? So you can see Bitcoin's back at 21.3, Ether is still at 637. So there's a little bit of a difference there, which is why the Ether Bitcoin valuation is going up. It's not because Ether's going up faster than Bitcoin, it's that Bitcoin is dropping and Ether's not dropping quite as quickly. And XRP is actually doing quite well too, because this is at 57 cents. Link Bitcoin has come up a little. If we go look at the exponential fit against Link Bitcoin, you can see we're coming in at the bottom here if it holds, which I don't know if it'll hold or not. It's more or less been our theoretical bottom a couple times, except for maybe this wick here. But yeah, it's been our bottom here, it's been our bottom here, been our bottom here as well. Coming in hot. Oh, 639. Is Bitcoin back? Oh, it's okay. So, yeah, I told you guys we can't break 640 until we get to 1,000 likes. You guys are the ones keeping that from happening. Maybe we can get back to 0.03. It's a nice little candle, right? I mean, I'll tell you guys what. I mean, you know, whether you like XRP or not, I'll say this: it knows how to pump, right? I mean, it can print some candles. XRP can print some candles. I mean, look at these candles, right? It knows how to print candles. We'll leave it at that. All right, we're at 638. Back to 638.59. Bitcoin's getting back close to 21.4. So it was interesting because what we saw, right? We saw Bitcoin go back down, but Ether did not react as quickly, right? Ether did not react as quickly, and because it did not react as quickly, the Ether Bitcoin valuation went up slightly, right? It went up to 0.0298. So maybe that's a small sign of Ether showing a little bit of strength in the short term. Oh, we're not at 640. Oh, I see. We're above 1,000 likes. We're above 1,000 likes, and we're not at 640 yet. Oh, what's going on with that? It is what it is, guys. It is what it is. Maybe there's like a latency period or something. You know, I mean, if it's communicating this data over the blockchain, it could take a few minutes for Ethereum to find out. To be fair, I said 1,000 likes. I didn't say 1,079. I said 1,000. The Ether valuation is going up a little here. I mean, you can see now it's at 0.0298. Let's actually switch this over to 1 minute candles and see what's going on. So let me remove these. Yeah, I mean, you can see the Ether Bitcoin valuation has been moving up here over the last few minutes. I mean, we watched it live, right? We watched it live happen. Bitcoin dropped back down closer to 21.3. Ether didn't really budge. It still stayed at like 637, 638. Oh, 638.77. 638.90. Oh, 639. Oh, here we go. 639.76. Are we doing it? Maybe I should go buy some ether to put it over the top if you guys aren't going to. There it is, a 640 ether. I told you, we just need to get to 1,000 likes. Here we are. It took you know how long, when you send a transaction, right, on the Ethereum blockchain, it can take a few minutes, right? That's all it was. So I wouldn't get too bent out of shape, right? Now we're at 640, and maybe now we'll go up more. Let's see what everything else is doing. Link, 1361. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin's still at 21.4. So Link Bitcoin valuation is creeping a little. ADA is at almost 17 cents. ADA ETH, what's ADA ETH doing? Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. ADA has been moving up against Ethereum, actually. So ADA is outpacing Ethereum over the last few minutes, which is outpacing Bitcoin over the last few minutes, and we're almost back at 0.03. Bitcoin's still at 21.4. Now Ether's at 641.50. So I told you guys we would get to 640. Someone says 72,000 subs and been asked to buy XRP. I already said I bought XRP earlier today. I said that earlier. I said, I bought it because Bitcoin's above 20K. I'll stick to my word, right? I said, if it gets above it and the risk level is low enough, I'll probably buy it. Here we are. Let's stick to the data. XRP is now at 58 cents. Ooh. Sorry, I know I'm jumping around a lot. I'm just trying to keep tabs of what the market's doing. 8 is almost at 17.16999. Yes, I did buy XRP earlier. I bought it at 53 cents. I bought it earlier today. I don't know. I mean, it might be a bad decision. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, so far it's been working, but we'll see what happens. That market sentiment can change quickly. Now we have a 642 ether, 643 ether.
You have a new wheel.
Sorry, my 4-year-old just walked in. Graham, you want to say hi?
Hi.
You can come over here and say hi. You want to come say hi? They can't see you. You're way over there. Why don't you come over here?
I was just telling you something.
You want to come over here and say hi to everyone?
No.
No? Okay. Graham, can you close the door? He was telling me I have a new wheel because I got a flat tire today. So the spare is put on now. So he was acknowledging the spare. Sorry, I have to scroll up here to see how much ether is going up. He did advise you to buy Bitcoin earlier this year. I believe he came on stream and said buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I told people I was buying XRP on the premium list. His name's Graham. Yeah, he's not gonna like it when I tell him I bought XRP, so we might need to keep that one under wraps. Well, let's just not let that be a little secret here. Ooh, we have 1,111 likes. 11. Stanley says, not impressed with the XRP buy. You know what? I can't impress everyone. You can't impress everyone. My target with XRP? Up, I guess. Is... Oh, Link is moving here. Yeah, Link is moving. A little bit. I mean, it's at 1377, but I mean, Bitcoin is still at 21.4, so Link is moving slightly. If we go on to a daily time frame, let's zoom in here and see what's going on. This is a daily time frame, so we're pretty close to the theoretical. I mean, it can certainly go below this, right? I don't want to give the implication that it has to turn around here, but it is moving up some here at 64,000 satoshis, 64,500. ADA 17? Yeah, ADA is at 17. XRP still at 58. Ether 646. Gosh, I gotta keep scrolling up to keep up with Ether's price. Do you guys remember that time when Ether was 638 and I said if we get to 1,000 likes it'll break 640? You guys remember that? Where did it come up to? So it came up to 640. Okay, so 646. And Bitcoin still at 21.4. Yeah, I do remember the time I said I'd unban Omar, and I tried to, and I could not find him. So, unfortunately for him, that's just the way it is. I like seeing ADA back over 17. Alright, Ether's a 645. We'll see what happens here. I probably should go soon, actually, since my kids are back home. Oh, Bitcoin's back to 250. Yeah, so Ether is gaining some here, right? It's probably, yeah, it's back above 0.03. So you can see Ether is gaining a little bit back against Bitcoin. At least it is in the short term, right? At least it is in the short term. We'll see. I mean, we've had trends like this before, and it's still continued down, but we'll see. Maybe it's a turnaround point. I don't know. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. And remember, if you guys want access to the premium list, which comes with weekly reports, weekly videos, a Telegram alerts channel, a Telegram chat room, a risk dashboard, the trading view indicators, and future live streams for just the premium list, check out the description below for the holiday sale, and I'll also post it in the chat. And then also we do have a Telegram channel, a public one, with almost 10,300 members, so make sure you guys join that. Yeah, Omer's a person. He was in the chat yesterday and he was trolling, so I banned him, and right as I banned him, he said he was sorry, and then I felt bad, but he was already banned, and then I tried to find him and unban him, but it was too late, and now I haven't been able to find him in the long list of people that are banned, and I even searched for his name, but it still didn't come up, so I don't know. And he emailed me too, and like wrote like a really long apology letter about how he feels bad. Now I feel bad, but there's only so much I can do. Omer, if you're listening, this pump here is for you. Let's dedicate this Ether pump to him. Yeah, he did email me. He emailed me. I think it was spelled Omer. I'm pretty sure it was spelled Omer. Oh, Bitcoin's going back down a little, 21.2. Let's see what Ether's doing. 642. But Ether Bitcoin is still holding okay at 302. Yeah, let's see. It's Link is still doing okay at 1370. XRP, yeah, it's at 57 cents. XLM is pushing 20 cents. Anyone have any questions or anything? I'm not in England. I don't know why you assume I'm in England. The stream's probably not going to last that much longer. Someone was asking how long it's going to last. I mean, I tend to end them at 2 hours, and it's already at the very latest, usually. We're already at an hour and 43, so... I mean, after 2 hours, what else am I going to say? What effect will this have on the Bitcoin support band? I mean, it'll just keep pulling it up, right? It's just going to keep pulling it up. Oh, Ether's coming back with a vengeance here, back at 640, back at 644, and Bitcoin is still down at 21.3. So that means Ether Bitcoin should be going up here. I don't know if this is updated. Ether Bitcoin. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's going up. Right? Yeah, you can 3028. Yeah, because you can see, I mean, Bitcoin now has lost $100, but Ether has gone up from like 638 or 636 up to 645. XRP is back at 57, and Link is still doing okay. Is ADA above 17? No, ADA is below 17, and Link USD is, oh, so it is going, so Link USD is still doing okay, so 1374. Let's keep an eye on Ether though. See if we can break 650. Oh, did you guys see that wick? That wick just took us to like 648 almost. Yeah, I think it took us to 648. Yeah, I am pretty heavy on Ethereum. We'll see. Bitcoin drops. What do you think about? I mean, yeah, other coins would probably have a knee-jerk reaction, but it doesn't mean they can't pump after. What happens if Ethereum blows up? I mean, I guess we all make a lot of money if you're in Ethereum. I don't really use sell walls and buy walls. They can get eaten up really quickly once the momentum gets going. Where are the Gap Boys? Yeah, maybe we should have a moment of silence for the Gap Boys waiting for a $9,600 Bitcoin. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe Ether can make it to 10K, but I'll probably be out of the market before that. Or mostly out of it. ETH is creeping back up. Ethereum's creeping back up. 646. And Bitcoin's still at 21.3. $647. Are we doing 650? I don't generally recommend shorting or anything. I mean, I just don't think it's worth the risk, right? I mean, you know, because if you lose it, then you're losing a future. Like, you know, if Bitcoin goes up 5 or, you know, 8x or something from here, that's substantial. All right, here we go. We're at 648. Are we doing it? Are we doing 650? And Bitcoin's still at 21.4, so Ether definitely is gaining on Bitcoin right now. 0.0303, at least in the short term. And Link is 1372. XRP is still around 57 cents. ADA is still around 17 cents. And Bitcoin is not doing much at 21.4. All right, we're at. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I don't really have anything more useful to say. I mean, we could look at the other macro indicators, but when the price is pumping, just fun to watch the chart. You guys think we'll see a 650 Ethereum tonight? Bitcoin's still at 21.3, and Ethereum is still holding pretty strong at 646, 647 or so. One says Ethereum's pumping money into their wallet. I mean, I gotta say, right, it's nice watching Ether pump, right? I mean, we watched it go from like 635 up to 640. Now we're at 647. Following here. Make sure you guys subscribe. Give the video a thumbs up. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. I'll probably call it at 2 hours. Any more Tesla videos soon? Probably at some point. I mean, it's gone insane as well. I sold some Tesla a while ago. I still have some of it. I'm just kind of letting it ride right now. By the way, it is December. Yeah, it is December 17th now. December 17th. That was the prior all-time high date for Bitcoin back in way back over here. It was December 17th. A lot of sideways action for Bitcoin here. All right, we're almost at 2 hours. All right. I think I'm gonna get going. It's been an hour and 57 minutes, and we're still just I mean, Bitcoin's been chopping sideways for a while now. 21.3. It was exciting to watch. It's been exciting watching Ethereum break through 640. We're currently back at 644. But I mean, the Ether Bitcoin valuation has been moving up some in the short term, back to almost 0.0303. Let's take a look at Litecoin. So Litecoin and XRP now, I think, are, as I said earlier, I think maybe can be justified now that Bitcoin's above the prior all-time high. It's a risk you take because if Bitcoin has a big dump, then these will probably follow suit. But again, there's no free lunch. ADA is still around 17 cents. Link 13.67. Someone was talking about XLM earlier, so it's around 19 cents. So I guess that'll wrap it up. I mean, maybe we'll tune in later if we continue. But Bitcoin still is just chopping sideways, and if it does, maybe we'll see Ethereum continue to gain some ground back on it. If we switch over to the weekly time frame, so this is where we currently are, right? This is where we currently are. So we'll see what happens. So. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember to check out the Black Friday sale / holiday sale in the description below. I'll put it in the comments if you guys want access to the premium list, which includes a lot of different things. And also remember, we do have a public Telegram channel that you guys can join if you guys want access to a growing crypto community to talk crypto with. So I'll put that there as well. That'll wrap it up for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll jump back into the cryptoverse some other time. See you later. Bye.